Swamiji, last time you spoke about how this new age of energy, Dwapara Yuga, has broken down barriers, and you were talking about art and music and how it's been chaotic in those fields.
But it doesn't have to be. I've written a lot of music that accepts this energy. It's not being torn in pieces. It's beautiful music. Its purpose is to inspire. What people are doing, they don't try to inspire people. They try to be in tune with the times and therefore upset people. It's a part of their education. They aren't taught to have ideals. They're taught to be atheists. But it's not as if all society was going in that direction. I think that many people, because of all this even, are being driven to seek God, are being driven to seek higher values. And I think more and more this kind of thing is emerging even in the arts, where people think in terms of ideals and values and so on. I think that the future of art is shining. One thing, though, that I've often felt, landscapes are not enough. They don't express consciousness. I think when, for instance, with a painting, I think it's a painting, I'd like to have a painting that I can enjoy, that I can treat like a friend. I would like to feel that the artist is someone I would like to make friends with, not someone I would reject. Mm-hmm. And I think more and more people are coming to understand that attitude to it too, that they want to put their ideals into their work.
Swami, we're coming, Nirmala mentioned, we're coming into an age of energy. How do you see that energy affecting the art that will come in the future?
Well, the arts will show much more energy. But I was about to say that trees are not as conscious as human beings. Therefore, I think that the higher art will express people, not things. And in the old Dutch masters, as they call them, for example, those people are all very sort of dour and expresses a low consciousness. I think that in the future there will be people shown who deliberately, the artists will try to find people who have a higher kind of energy. For example, somebody who's just mid-confession. I'm not a Catholic and I don't believe in confession, but I do believe that there would be a cleansing feeling in the spirit, having offered up your sins to God and feeling that they're forgiven. Well, somebody with that feeling that I've been forgiven, that kind of feeling of relief, that kind of feeling of ideals, somebody who's talking of truth from a pulpit and talking it sincerely, these can make beautiful pictures. A priest who has devotion to God and is talking that way. All these things can be images in the future where they're showing people in higher energy, not in lower energy. And that doesn't mean that they have to be jiving. It's just a more sensitive energy. That's what I think that will be shown. There will be another thing too, and that is that it will become more universal. In this higher age, people will conquer the illusion of space, and they'll go to other planets, as they've already started going to the moon and to Mars. It'll be much more than that in the future. And that spatial expansion will show also, certainly, in the arts.
Do you think that this age of energy is affecting politics in a positive way? Corruption is being exposed more?
Well, I don't know the answer to that. I can't answer it. I think that it's also giving some people the feeling that they can make more by corruption. There are more opportunities to be corrupt. It's got its bad side as well as its good. But yes, I think people are outraged at the deception that you find in politics. You can't trust politicians, to tell the truth. And that's a sad state of affairs. I think more and more people in this age will come to be truthful. And that's important.
It strikes me that in this age there is a need to come back to reality, come back away from fantasy or from greed, and that part of what she's saying about corruption is if it's exposed, then people can at least see that this is happening, let's fix it.
Yes. And certainly in this age, the news gets around faster. You have more way of tracing these things.
It always seems like it's bad news, though.
It does, doesn't it?
Be nice if there were good news to travel around quickly.
Well, there's a story by Saki, I think it's, in which this newspaper decides to print only the good news. It becomes a very boring paper.
Swamiji, what do you see as a higher age? What will people be like? What will life be like in that age?
Well, people will become more and more harmonious. I think that we are coming to a time of great violence and great upset because of the tension between the two ages. But then I think people will live in more harmony. They'll be living closer to nature. Cities will become a thing of the past. I think cities are a disease. I think people will be closer to the soil then. And there will be much more harmony in their relationships. And there'll be, as Yogananda put it, India and America will unite to lead the world in the path of progress and peace. And I think there will be much more peace in the world. I think there will be many fewer people in the world too. Crowded places tend to create tension and anger and harmful emotions.
Swamiji, what can we do now to live more in harmony with other people?
Be harmonious ourselves. That's the obvious answer. You have to simply don't think that the others are people at fault. See where the fault lies in you. What have you done to make this happen? Why have you attracted this particular person to your life who is giving you trouble? Why have you attracted the troubles that you're experiencing? Everything in life is karmic, and whatever you've done in the past is what comes to you in this life. So as people become more intelligent, and energy gives you more intelligence, they will come to see that the real cause is in themselves. That when you change your attitude, then you attract right places. When you change your attitude, the energy that you put out can attract you to the right job, can attract success. I actually had these thoughts when I was in college, and I found that they worked. I said, if you want to be lucky, then expect to be lucky and go out and meet luck halfway. Don't wait for it to come to you. And I found amazing things happen to me, that everything I did somehow flourished. And I found that I was able to tune into things more easily. For example, I was studying Greek, and in this course I'd lost interest in college. I'd lost faith in its ability to give me any kind of enlightenment. And so I never went to class. I never did any homework. And when the time came for the preparation for the final exam, the professor would say, well, there are some people in this class who might as well not even come to the exam. And all the students would look at me and laugh. I mean, I knew words like and the, and adelphos, it means brother, and that sort of thing, but very few words. And I thought, well, no, I'm going to pass that test. And a week before the exam, I picked up my book to study, and I thought, oh, I can't do it. And there's same thing every night until finally, the test was on Monday morning. Finally, Sunday night, I thought, my God, I've done no studying. I still had every intention of passing that test, but I didn't know how. And suddenly I came upon an inspiration. They say that necessity is the mother of invention. Well, she showed all the right motherly instincts at this point. And I told myself, you're a Greek. Well, suddenly realizing that I was Greek, everything went happily and easily. And I didn't have any trouble. And there were only 2 people who passed that exam. I was one of them.
Amazing.
Yeah. I've seen this happen again and again. your attitude, your concentration, the energy you put into things, expect things to go well, and put out that kind of magnetism, and you'll find that it will come to you. So answers come to you, to questions that you have. Inspiration comes to you. I found in writing music that if I say I want a song that says this, this, and this, and I offer it up to my higher self, suddenly I have a melody. And I think the future will be more super-conscious.
So your music then tries to change people's consciousness.
Well, it isn't that I try to change people's consciousness, I try to make a higher consciousness attractive. Mm-hmm. And I hope that will change them, but I don't do it with a proselytizing deal that this is going to change you.
Swami, if you were to define success, you were addressing success a moment ago, how would you describe it?
I'd say that success is finding what you really want. And sometimes you have a lot of money and fail because it doesn't make you happy. So I'd say that success is that which gives you what you really want, which is happiness. And if you have whatever you do, if it makes you happy, then you're achieving success. If you find more harmony in yourself, then you're achieving success. If you find that you get along better with other people, then you're achieving success. Success means, because we all come from God, we're all a part of Him, and His nature is absolute bliss, ever existing, ever conscious, ever new bliss, Satchit Ananda. And we, because we've come from Him, our nature is to want to find that bliss. Therefore, everybody in the world is motivated by this desire for happiness, which is a lower octave of bliss. And anything that gives you more happiness is going to be successful. Unhappiness comes when you're not succeeding in that way above all. And you may lose a job, but that doesn't mean you've failed. If you find happiness, then you have succeeded. Success is secondary to what it does for you as a human being. I found that yes, it's good to be able, if you've got an exam to pass, for example, then of course you've got to do that. You've got to do that exam properly. But the happiness that comes from doing things well, that is the proper kind of success that we're talking about.
Thank you.